Welcome to Comfy Habit number 2. Okay, so last night I did pretty much the same shit I'm going to do here on Instagram that I did on TikTok last night. So I got to do some martial arts demonstrations. I'm going to use weapons. I'm going to tell you do's and don'ts. You don't have to follow. You don't have to agree. But you can sit back and enjoy the show. Feel free to share. Last night I did this for about an hour, so probably going to give you guys less than that. I don't know. I might. It just depends on how far I go, what I can do, what I can get done before my fingers freeze, because I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia, and it's cold. Granted, if I lived in Hawaii or Los Angeles or Florida, I could give you a longer show. I also am a one-man production company, so I don't have a lot of help. There will be no editing. You will probably see me drop some weapons like I did last night. So I will, when I end the live, I'll put the title of the YouTube channels you can go to so you can see my shit. If you want to do that, if you want to share that, that would be great. If you want to follow me there, that would be great also. However, I'm going to do martial arts now. I'm going to hopefully teach you guys something, show you a few things, teach you the do's and don'ts of martial arts. I am a 48-year-old man. I've been doing martial arts since I was 7 years old. So I will tell you pretty much the same shit I said on TikTok and YouTube last night. Just because you have a black belt does not mean you are a great fighter. Alright? Just because you are a champion doesn't mean you are a great fighter. There are a lot of great fighters out here who have never been given golden opportunities like most people who have belts and things are. Try to remember that. Because a lot of people don't seem to get the gist of how great somebody really is if they've never been given a chance to do so. Let me set that down there. Set that down there. Yes, I have a fuck ton of lights that are going to show you guys my face. If I keep moving closer, it messes up the YouTube and they'll only get pictures of the crotch. So we're trying not to do that. So hopefully you guys can see everything. And if you can't see everything, I apologize. Whatever you miss, you can go find it on YouTube. So we're going to start with these rings. They're not traditional rings. I could not buy any traditional rings, so you got to make do with what you got. So I went to Michael's. I got some rings, the same things I use to draw circles for my artwork. So if you are a true martial artist, anything in your hand should become a weapon. So let me stop right there. Your first lesson in martial arts is your ability to adapt. Your most important lesson in fighting is your ability to adapt. But your second most important lesson in fighting is don't bring a weapon to a fight because you don't want that weapon taken from you and used upon you. Which a lot of people who you are following, a lot of people who are teaching you martial arts, tend to neglect that fact. Because just because you bring a weapon to a fight, don't mean you're going to leave the fight in one piece or with that weapon. Your best weapon is the only ones that the gods, the creators, whatever your religious belief, spiritual belief gave you. Your hands, your elbows, your forearms, your kneecaps, your feet. That's it. You can't use any of them. These are useless. But we're going to have fun. So that's what you're here for. Let's have a little fun. Alright? So if you want to do crane, you go here. If you want to do a different style of kung fu, I'm going to teach you what you can do with the rings. So you strike here and you strike here and you pull, that's kung fu. You strike here and you pull, that's karate. Alright? Now you don't have to agree with that. These are the minor differences that I always taught between karate and kung fu. Again, I'm not here to teach you shit. I'm here to teach you something that hopefully you'll be able to use, but mostly you'll be able to have some fun and learn. I will be also doing bound fighting at the end, because that's going to be the most complicated shit. Alright? You don't want to do anything fancy in a fight. Understand that shit. So, keep it basic. Mantis, crane, mantis, snake, drunken master, understand that when you get into a fight, all of that shit you just saw, you're not going to use. Because you're not going to remember that shit once the fight starts. It's going to look like every damn thing else. A hot mess. But it doesn't hurt to know that you can convert from crane to mantis to snake. And you can use the rings. Now, we're done with rings. I'm trying to keep in line with what I did last night. I'm pretty sure I just screwed up. But we're going to talk about weapons. So understand that anything you bring to a fight, you better be able to control. Because if you can't, someone is going to take it from you. They're going to have a field day with your ass. Chain is a ranged weapon. You can do this all day and never have to lift a leg or a hand. But you better be able to control it. If you don't, you're not Scorpion. Again, you don't control this thing. Someone's going to take it from you. They're going to end you. Chobos. This is what you're not going to do. If you're training at home, that's fine. You getting ready to fight with these bitches? Here, if you're doing Kali, I don't do Kali because I don't know Kali. But for Kali, I know you start up here. For the Kempo I was taught, specifically, you start here. Boom. Unless you're right-handed or left-handed, you're here. Boom. If you want to change from Kempo to Wing Chun, this would be your Wing Chun stance. Your dominant hand in front. Boom. You know? But for Kempo, I was taught my non-dominant hand should go in front. Boom. I was also taught, do not strike without having another strike ready to go. So if I block and strike, if I block and I strike. And again, everybody was taught a martial art differently. And every martial art that you teach someone else, you will teach differently from the way you were taught, because you will have to modify it to work with your body. Your body will never work like the person who taught you's body. That's why you don't do that. When you are practicing at home, this is fine. But that's what's got to happen when you start whirling these things. In a real fight, don't do that. I don't know how many times I'm going to drop this bitch. But in a real fight, see? Someone's going to take that from you. You're sitting here trying to look cool. Sorry, that's the dog. When you're sitting there trying to look cool, you're working these things, someone's going to work you. So remember, boom, boom. Yuri. Stay there so you're not in the line of sight. See, I almost didn't recover. One last thing before I put these up. If you have these, everything you just seen me do with my feet, they won't be necessary. See how that sounds? See how that sounds? Yeah. When you hit somebody with these one time, they should probably go down. Depends on where you hit them. True that. But they should probably go down. That's a solid hit. Understand that when you hit somebody that's made out of flesh and bone, you're not hitting somebody made out of wood. Because they're not going to feel it if they're made out of wood. They might be in armor, they're going to be alright, but when this shit hits flesh, something's getting broken. I understand that shit. This is why when you train with chobos or the Kali sticks, you are wearing armor. If you're not wearing some kind of protection, and it's your first time out, you might need to go to a new school. Just saying, you don't want to be going to school and getting broken up. You're not paying people to break you in half. You're paying them to teach you how not to get broken in half. And you're not going to do that. So, strike, 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 block, strike, strike. You're going to be doing stuff like that. And your partner, on the other hand, is going to come down. You're going to block. He's going to go to the side. You're going to block. You don't block, you're going to get hit. Which is why if you have that armor on, you're going to be protected. Hopefully, your teacher will make you wear headgear. I know it looks horrible, but that headgear is going to protect you from concussions, from accidental partners going, oops. So, a couple of blocks you need to learn. High left, high right, low left, low right. The thing about blocks is you have to remember your central line. It's just like wax on, wax off, only with sticks in your hand. Wax on, wax on, wax off, wax off, that kind of shit. So, also, if you don't think that you can avoid the blow, you want to try to get out of the way, block and step back, block and step back, strike, strike, block, block. Those are things you're going to need to know when messing with any kind of weapon, is how to block and how to strike. So if guys coming straight and your only block is this, that's fine. Then you strike. You get to pick the strike. It doesn't have to be a forward thrust. It can be a side shot. Or block, strike, then strike again. Because you're not going to strike, whirl it, and then strike. Because that's what's going to happen. What that probably should have looked like was boom, boom, and I still dropped it. So you don't want to do that. So you want to do this. Boom. That's it. Bring it back. Not this. Boom. No. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt real bad. So you don't want to do that. You do not want these things to leave your hands. When you are fighting, whether it be Kali or Kempo, these things do not leave your hand. They don't do this, or this, or this. They don't simultaneously do this. You are not Raphael. Vampire. X block is for strikes that's coming this way. They can work this way, they can work this way, but they're going to be rarely used when someone is striking you. Alright? Now we're going to tonfas, and then we're going to go and use the tonfas as commas. Then we're going to do the bound fighting, and that'll be it. So then you guys can go about your life and have a good day. So these are commas. Again, with the commas, you're not going to do that. Understand this. For movies, in real life, that's going to happen. For movies, the transition is going to be smooth. See how that worked? Let's see if I can do it in slow motion. Nope, can't do it in slow motion. Let's try again. Okay? In real life, that'll cut your arm clean off. Commas are close-quartered weapons. They are not toys. They are not little knives. They are toys of mass destruction if you think them as a toy. But what they are is you're going to block and you're going to strike. Now, 9 times out of 10, if they're not wearing armor, boom, pull it out, boom, you're going back in. If they're wearing armor, it's stuck. So you got to push them off. I understand how that works. So your commas: block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, or block, strike, strike. You'll figure that shit out. You're not going to do that. Now, the thing with commas is you got to get in close to use them on people. So if you're in, boom. If they're not wearing armor, you're good. Boom. You can just graze them and cut them across the gut. Your likelihood of that happening is slim to zero, depending on what your opponent brings to the fight. If your opponent is bringing a katana or a bow staff, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to work really well because these are commas. They are short. They are close-range combat weapons. Boom, he has a bow. You got to work your way in to get into his defenses. Now, you get past his defenses, you're in good shape. You can't get past his defenses, you have a problem. You know, so you have to be able to remember how to block and strike. Boom, strike, boom, strike. Now, you double gouge, you're defenseless, so you don't ever want to do that. You want to always have one weapon at the ready. So if you block and you strike, you need to move. Here, pull it back out, go again. Or, pull it out, switch it up. Also depends on the number of opponents that you are fighting. Those are the things that are important in a fight. You're going to have to know that. You got a guy over here and a guy over here. You know, you're going to have to use your legs. You're going to have to work. Block, kick, strike. Kick. Get your shy out. Go over here and get this guy. Because these are close-quartered weapons. There is no ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you come into a battle with commas, you have come to do damage. But you have come at a high risk. These are not short-range weapons. Guy come at you with a sword, you're going to work. Understand that shit. You're going to work. So be prepared for that. You are going to work when you are using commas. And my nose is running, so I'm going to have to get a tissue and blow that shit. When I come back, I'm going to use the commas as tonfas. Because tonfas are a lot easier. Also, close-range weapons. Let me wave to you really quickly. Okay, the wave's not working. Sorry, the wave's not working. It's great. I gotta blow my nose. Also, thank you for being here. I hope they put the dogs back up. Alright, so we're going to take these commas and use them as tonfas and drop them and embarrass myself. Let's see if I can do that again. This is movies, yeah? Drop that one now. In the movies for commas, you will see this often. In real life, you're not going to get the chance to do that for commas. Now, we're going to simulate the commas as tonfas, where whirling is essential. So before we get to whirling, I need you to understand a few things. You have an interwhirl and an outer whirl. In, out, and my alarm's going. Fantastic. Okay, so 7 o'clock, so I need to hurry this up. Okay, so your outside whirl, your inside whirl. On a personal note for me, I only do outside whirls unless the inside whirl is my only option. The reason why I tell you this is because it's really quite simple. If you do the inside whirl and you don't fully extend your arm, you're going to hit your belly or your ribs on your way out, and you are going to hurt yourself trying to hurt your opponent. And some blocks, sadly, only allow you to do that, and some blocks allow you to do that. But it also depends on your body positioning. Your body positioning in a fight is the most important thing that you will ever have to know about a fight. If a guy throws a punch and you block it with this tonfa, and you decide to strike that way, that's a better shot than blocking it and then trying to go that way. Because he's still over here. You just blocked it. Now you can strike him. Versus you blocked it and trying to come all the way back around where this is closer. Understand, tonfas are not a joke, and they are way solider than these handles here. Most of the tonfas cover your entire forearm. So you should be aware of that. These are not tonfas, these are commas. I am using them as tonfas as educational purposes. Now, if you're going to do crane, you can start the X block and do crane. You can also do mantis with tonfas, and you can also do snake. These are very difficult styles to use tonfas with, but you should know that they can be done. Dragon, tiger, not so much. Okay, but understand it can be done. It's just a matter of timing on your opponent. Your opponent's coming and you're doing crane, whether it be kung fu or karate. You're gonna start here. Boom, that's a strike. You just blocked his front kick. Boom, that's a strike. You blocked an elbow strike and a fist attack. So he was throwing this or this. You were blocking and then you were striking. Understand how that works? You don't want to get into a sequence fight while you have these because they aren't as useful as a comma because they don't have blades, but they're good for blocking an opponent. So if he's throwing sequences of kicks at you, boom, 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 he's kicking your tonfa, and it's going to be hurting him. So he might get 2 good kicks in, but he's probably going to break his feet or his leg. If he's throwing a straight kick here, and you block that shit, it's probably going to hurt him a lot more than he's thinking, because usually people who are throwing kicks are trying to kick you with everything they got. So if you just block that shit, you ain't even have to use the rest. If he's throwing a high kick, which is up here towards my head, boom, I just blocked him with both hands. Boom, I can step in, I can sweep his foot, I can hit him in the gut at the same time. So boom, boom, it's not going to be that difficult. However, so that you understand how tonfas work, block, strike, boom, boom, boom. That way you can get all that shit out the way. Alright? So you block, strike, kick, strike, kick. And as you notice, as I was spinning, my tonfa was already there. The reason why I left my tonfa out is because if I miss that foot, that tonfa should be there. So, boom, 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 boom. This way, I still have a grip. If he sees the tonfa, he doesn't see my foot, I'm good. If he sees both, he's going to block them. That's why I have the other tonfa and the other foot. One thing you got to understand about fighting, you don't ever want to do this. You don't want to have to cross your own body to make a strike, because that puts you in a position where you can get your shit locked up by the right person. They can catch you and lock you up, and then you got a problem. So we don't want that. We want you to be safe. So you're going to strike, boom, boom, do a double jab, boom. After you jab them with the tonfa, you're going to hit them with the other end of the tonfa. As you throw the punch, your tonfa should hit them. Bam! When you hit them, you want to hit them in the chin, and then you can catch them again because you're going to spin the tonfa around, because that's what the tonfas do. Right? So, boom, boom, that's good. Boom, boom, that's better, because you've eliminated the problem. You've pretty much eliminated the problem, because when you hit somebody with a fucking block of wood, and then spin around the block of wood and hit them with the other end of the same block of wood, they're going to know. Believe me, they are going to know. So now we're getting down to the final part of this video. I'm a little hot in the chest, but my fingers are frozen. So, you know what, let's just take the gloves and shit off. So I'm going to teach you bound fighting now. Do's and don'ts. Please do not attempt anything that you've seen tonight at home, especially if you are not a martial artist, if you now have military training or any training whatsoever. You use this shit as entertainment only, because you will probably be getting hurt and you will probably wind up in a hospital, and I don't want that. So we're going to do bound fighting. Bound fighting means my hands are going to be tied. We are going to do behind the back first, because it is the most difficult. Understand that you have limited motion, limited balance, and limited abilities, because your hands, specifically, so you guys can see this, and yes, that's America's ass. So your hands are specifically behind your back. So I do more engaging with my hands in front versus my hands behind the back, because your blocks are limited. See that? Get closer. So if you see that, that's as far as my hand can go on both sides. I am not a contortionist, so I can't pull my hands over there and I can't jump through the shit backwards. I'm also 48, so that shit's not a fucking option. We live in the reality of that shit's gonna get me fucked up. So we're not gonna do that. But this is a block, and this is a block. This is a block, this is a block. You are limited, so you have to escape. Anytime your hands are behind your back, you will not engage if you can escape. Now, you have 4 basic kicks that I'm going to show you, and then 1 simple kick. All of these kicks are for you to not to engage, depending on where your exit route is. If your exit route is over here to your left, you want to send your opponent to your right. If your exit route is to your right, you want to send your opponent to your left. So for the first 2 kicks, my exit route is on my left. That being said, I have 2 options. I can give him a front kick. The problem with that is he's still blocking my exit route. I want to give him an outside to inside crescent kick, which looks like so that he's going over that way, because that's the way the momentum and my foot is aimed to take him. Boom! I'm sending his ass this way, so I can pop my hips and go this way. Now, same scenario on the right. My exit is over there. He's coming from over there. I am going to send him that way. There's also a hole right here. So he's going that way. I've landed this way. I'm going to pop my hips this way, and I'm going to go to my exit. Now, the kicks you don't want to do that will probably make you engage as I dig this wedgie out my ass. You don't want to do inside to outside crescent kicks, because that puts them in the direction in which they came from, which would probably force you to engage. Inside to outside crescent kick on the left, he is in my way. If I do this kick here, I keep him there, which means I have to engage this fucker. That's not going to be pretty, because my fucking hands are tied. When your hands are fucking tied, you have an issue. You don't want that. My exit's over there, he's coming this way. I'm going to do the same stupid ass move, which will mean I'm probably going to have to engage with the guy on the right. So he's coming at me, boom. I did the inside to outside crescent kick, putting him between me and the door still. So that means I'm going to have to engage. You have to understand that is not what you want to do. Now, let's say I don't have a snowball's chance in hell of winning that engagement because my hands are tied. You're probably going to take a beating. So you don't want that. So a simple kick also, he's coming at you. If you have him a doorway that way and a doorway that way, but you have to work to get there. So let's just say a front kick will be suffice. Boom. Now you can do that front kick. I don't recommend doing the jumping front kick, which is that because as you jump, your hands are still tied, and you are going to be off balance by a good 15%. So, and also depending on how much you weigh, if you weigh a certain amount, you might be bottom heavy or top heavy, and that's going to throw off your balance. Understand how your body works. It's like number 1 with a bullet on any occasion, whether you're a boxer, a kickboxer, MMA fighter, or a wrestler. You gotta know how your body works. If you're bottom heavy or top heavy, that's gonna play a factor in this shit. So if he's coming at you, boom. That's good. That's just a stepping front kick. Now, if you're going to do a jumping front kick, you know, you may still have to engage him with both kicks. Not going to lie. You may have to engage him with both kicks. But at least with this front kick, you can still reset yourself versus this jump front kick where if you don't land right or if you roll an ankle or something, you're in trouble. So you don't want that. So you just want to keep your feet on the ground until you don't have to have them on the ground. So your hands tied, boom, that front kick. You have to do a sequence, boom, boom, stop. Do not do this. No. It ends, you reset your shit. Simple as that. Boom, boom, reset, step back, boom. You know, do not continue that sequence with spinning your back, because spinning your back opens you up to an attack because you're exceptionally vulnerable because you can't see him. If he doesn't go down from the first 2 kicks, you definitely don't want to turn your back on him because your fucking hands are tied. That would be really bad for you. Now, that said, you got him that way and you got him down. to your immediate exit. Do not stay there and try to engage him with tied hands. It's not going to work out for you. It's going to work out for your assailant more than it's going to work out for you. Alright, so now we get to the fun part of doing shit in front. There will be no butterfly kicks because you are not going to get the chance to use that. And with your hands tied, whether they're in front or back, the butterfly kick is a very dangerous maneuver that I don't recommend you attempting to do while your hands are tied. The advantage of having your hands tied in front is that you have more blockage. High right, medium with knee, low right. High left, medium with knee, low left. This is your best bet, is if your hands are tied in front of you, because even if you don't want to engage, you will have the ability to engage, and you will have the ability to defend yourself, as I just showed you your blocks. There's also blocks with elbows and knees. All you kickboxers and Thai fighters know that shit. If you don't know, you better brush up on your shit. So if they're throwing a mid-kick, which their strikes here, you can do that one. You can do that one. You can do that one. You know, you'll have options. You know, and you don't have to worry about not being able to engage fairly. Your one hand, because you have two, but there'll be one. You have to learn how to work them as one hand. Understand? So if they're throwing a kick at this range, boom. You know, you have to learn how to work that shit. Boom. Now, if you block them, you want to get to the outside of their body. So let me pause real quick. I specifically was taught in Kung Fu that getting to the outside of the body is safer because it has to make your opponent cross their body. Now, there will be Kung Fu practitioners who do shit totally different than I do. There will be karate practitioners who will do shit different than I do, and they will call me out on it, and that's fine. But as a person who's 5'3", 120 pounds, my way works for me. It's not going to work for you in every situation, but my way works for me. I'm not trying to fight to save you, I'm trying to fight to save me. So make sure that you're clear. When I say get to the outside, that means get to the outside. Need something?
I was going to shut the door. I went for locking.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I just, the heat is on.
You don't pay the bill, don't worry about it. If you want to close it, don't lock that door.
No, I'm not. I'm just shutting it.
Why don't y'all just, no. So much easier when people just do what they're supposed to do and then leave instead of just hanging around. Anyway, when someone's throwing a front punch, generally if they're boxing, they're going to do a left jab first, which is aimed at your right side. So you want to get to the right. You're right, they're left. You want to get to the outside. They go by. You can use karate from this point and throw that knee. Then you can switch to Kung Fu and throw an elbow. Or you can do Kung Fu, when you get to the outside and pull them, use this knee and then this elbow. Now if you want to switch off, when they swing, you push, boom, and then boom. That's a forearm. So now you've thrown karate and Kung Fu at the same time. If you want to do karate and Kung Fu at the same time, again, you can push, knee, and then here, or if you want to just do karate, pull, push that knee, and then punch them. Karate works on power. Everything I just showed you brings power. When you pushed and you threw the farthest knee from your opponent, that gives you time to generate the most power. Where if you were doing Kung Fu and you pushed and you put the closest knee to your opponent, that would be more accuracy needed versus more power. Understand, the one thing you have to understand in any fight, it is not where you hit a person with inaccuracy, it is where you hit a person with accuracy. In other words, it's more important to know where you're hitting someone than how hard you're hitting them. You know, if you're hitting someone in their kill zone, this sternum, throat, and temple stuff, if you're hitting someone in those spots, you're bound to do some damage versus trying to hit someone square in the jaw or trying to hit them on solid muscle. So if you're running at me, boom, and I front kick you right here in the sternum, you should stop. You should also heel over. When you are coming over, I'm coming up with the knee. The same knee from the same foot because it's right there already. I'm not going to, boom, shift back and then bring the knee back. No, fuck that shit. You're already there. Boom, boom, I'm just going to bring that knee. You're already coming down, so I'm just going to grab your head and bring that same knee. It's right there. Boom, boom. You're done. From this side, so that you can understand the concept. They're coming at you. Kick. The knee is right there. You put that knee down, you've wasted your time. So when they kick, boom, boom, that knee, because they're going to bend over. You hit them right, they're bending over forward. You're just going to take the back of their head to the knee that's already there. And it's already there because, boom, it's right there. Now, let's say you want to do karate versus kung fu. So, they're coming, boom, understand the difference? You just drove more power into their ass. Now, in most events, you might not get that chance. Also depends on their body. Also depends on the body mechanics in which you know. If you don't know enough body mechanics, you're going to do what comes natural, which there's nothing wrong with that. But you need to make sure you know what the fuck you're doing so that you don't hurt yourself in the process. So, the thing with engaging with your hands tied, you have to know where you're going to hit someone. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you what I'm about to tell you right now. When you are in a fight, everything that you are seeing me doing goes out the window. None of that shit's going to be in your head when you are fighting. You are dealing with someone's rage. You are dealing with someone's strength. You're dealing with someone's toughness. You're dealing with someone's fighting style. You may not know if they can fight or not. You won't know until the fight starts. So, let's go on with kicks that are going to force you to engage. 9 times out of 10, a jumping front kick will probably force you to engage. Because if they see that coming and they sidestep it, they get over on this side of you, they're going to probably take you down. And you're going to get hurt. So you don't want to do that. That's why you want to keep your feet on the ground. You do not want to do sequence attacks if you can help it. You know? Boom. Boom. No. You don't want to do that. Because every time you take your back and you spin, at about 4 or 2 seconds in that spin, you have lost sight of your target. And if your target is not down, and he's still up, and he's blocking your sequences, your next spin could be your last spin. So if you're going to do sequence attacks, you want to keep that shit facing him. Boom. Boom. You want to keep it facing him and become at him. It'll be working better if you can see what I'm doing. So, kicked him, you reset. That's a fuck up. Unless he's down. So, you kicked him, boom. You reset, and here, you're going to keep going forward. You aren't going to do this shit. Boom. Boom. He ducks that shit. He's hitting you in your testicles. Sorry. He is hit with that first one. He cringes over. He sees that second one coming. Boom. You're going down. So you want to keep that shit forward. Boom. Boom. Now, let's say you don't want to go any further with that. So you want to switch your shit up. So first kick. Boom. 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 Understand the combo? Let me go from here. Boom. 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 Hope you guys saw that. So, the first kick, I did fuck up. So, here, front, without putting your leg down like I just did, because I'm standing near that hole. So, front kick, ready, watching. Front kick, side kick, front kick. Alright, you're going to do that. Same thing if it was on this side. Front kick, side kick, don't fall like I'm falling. So, front kick, side kick, I screwed up again. Front kick, side kick. This leg is not working. Let's go. Where the fuck is that hole? Okay. So, front kick, side kick, front kick. Alright? So basically you're just switching. Let me get up on you better. Boom, boom, boom. That's it. Let's try with the leg that doesn't work. Boom, boom, woo. I'm sorry. What you're not going to do is this. This fucks up your balance. So you don't want to do that. You're also not going to do this. Still fucks up your balance. So those are kicks that are not going to happen. Make sure you understand that. So what you can do to compensate. Guy comes at you, boom. He steps back, boom. You know, you got that. And he comes at you again, boom. He's coming at you again, boom. Now, if I haven't knocked him silly, I need to get ready. So I'm going to step back. Now, if I have knocked him silly, I'm going to pop my hips and get the fuck out of Dodge. So it'd be like this then, the other way. Boom. From here, I can step and kick and fall on my face. Or from here, yeah, I can just step, reset, and wait for him. If he doesn't get back up, we're good. If he gets back up, you're not good. Now you've pissed him off. So now you're going to have to finish him. He's coming at you, he's coming at you. Boom! Okay, this was your target. He goes over. You grab him. Bam! Because that knee's already there. It's going to be a lot easier to use the weapon that is closest to your availability than to try to be fancy. Now, I'm a short guy. I don't plan on leaving this ground. I don't plan on jumping up and hitting people. It's not going to work for me because I'm a short guy. If I jump up, he may grab me. Speedball special my ass. No, we're not having that shit. My hands are still tied, by the way, in case you haven't noticed. So, how do I use these as weapons? As I did before, when he throws a punch, I block. I knee him, he bends over, I reach over, and I put these behind his neck. As I put them behind his neck, I put my knee in his back. I do not reel back because I don't want to break his neck. I lean a little forward because I'm trying to stop the breath. However, both ways can probably hurt this person severely, so please be careful in doing such as you see. Now, you don't have to use these as weapons, but in the event there is another way. He's throwing punches. Block, block, strike. So when you strike, both of your hands are going out, and this thing is catching him in the throat. So block, block, you know, you're going to catch him in the throat, because if he can't breathe, he can't hurt you. Same thing, which is why when you knee him and wrap this around his throat, you're going to wrap it around his throat. You are going to put your knee in his back, and you are going to drag him to the ground. Once he goes down, you want to relieve the pressure. Get off of his back. Yeah, you don't want to be on him too long. You just want him to stop moving. You don't want him to stop breathing. But in the case, if he has stopped breathing, he is done. As I say in many things, if a person can't breathe, they can't hurt you. It doesn't matter if they're Andre the Giant size or Pee Wee Herman size. Air is life. If you can't breathe, you're not going to be hurting anyone. It's not going to matter how tough you are, how bad you think you are, or what you think you can do. Another thing before I end this video, because my hands are getting cold. Everybody thinks that they are a good fighter until they are not. Everybody thinks that they're a badass until they are not. Understand that what I am teaching you will help you survive most things. There are not too many people on this planet that can operate with their hands tied. Understand that shit. There are not too many people who can operate. If I'm telling you something to not do, it is very well advised for you to not do it. See, with your hands tied in front, you have the ability to block. You also have better balance. If your hands tied behind you, your ability to block has been pretty much eliminated. You know, you have been in the situation where you don't have a lot of choice. This is why I don't ever recommend engaging with your hands tied behind you. But if you have to, side kick, front kick, side kick. Sequence should only be boom, stop, boom, stop. It's going to go a lot faster when it's actually happening, but I'm stopping for a specific reason. So let's say we go this way. I don't know if you guys can still see me. Boom, boom. Now, if he gets up from that, boom. You know, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm kicking him in the targeted area, which is all of this, I should probably stop him. I don't have to kick him that hard, just hard enough. Most people are not strong in the gut. Understand that shit. In the event that you are attacking someone who is strong in the gut, you have a problem. You need to understand that when you kick somebody as hard as you can in their stomach and they don't go down, you just woke up a problem. Now you have to be able to deal with that problem. Which goes back to what I specifically said. If your hands are tied behind your back, you do not want to engage with anybody other than what you need to do to escape. Which goes back to lesson number 1. He's over there, you want him over there, your door's over there. He's coming at you, bam! Outside to inside crescent kick. I land this way, he's right there. He should be not fucking silly if I connect it correctly. I turn this way, and I'm out. Because it's going to save your ass. Versus, he's over there, my door's over there. He's coming at me. Boom! I put him between my door and me. Which means now I have to engage him. He gets up, boom! I have to be able to get on his ass. He gets up again, boom! I can't get to that door as long as I'm engaging this asshat. So, I gotta stop playing with him. He gets up again, boom! Boom! I'm gonna do everything I can to get him away from my exit. If I can knock him out, that's going to be the grace of God. And then I'm going to run for that door because it's going to save me instead of me trying to look like a fucking hero where I can't get free if I'm getting the shit beat out of me at the same time. At least if I get out that door, if I get out that fucking door, these ropes can get off. Someone's going to help me, you know, versus if I can't. He's in front of me, you guys are the door. So, I got a few options for front and side kicks only. But are they going to be enough? Is the question that you're going to ask yourself when you're in this situation. So my hands are behind me, he's coming at me, boom! You know, let's say I didn't check his chin because I can't kick him in the chin. But I can kick him in the sternum. I can kick him in his groin. So let's say I'm going to be a dirty little bastard, I'm going to kick him in his groin. Boom! He's coming over. When he goes down, my knee's coming back up. Because I need to stop him. And that's the best way to stop him, is to check his chin after checking his testicles. Boom! Boom! You know, it's a whole lot easier to do it that way than to step back and kick him again. No. I'm already right there. So that's where Kung Fu is going to come into play versus karate. Boom! Boom! I've already got it. Now, if you got a tough head and you want to headbutt the fucker, then you knock yourself out. I gotta blow my nose. Do I recommend it? No. I don't recommend anything that's going to get you hurt. And I also don't recommend you attempt any of this shit without proper training, without proper supervision, without someone who actually knows martial arts, regardless of their belt equivalency. Because a belt does not make you a great martial artist, it just gives you a little bit of status amongst your peers. I have beaten black belts before, and they have not trained with their hands tied. I didn't have a choice. I understand. Sometimes the best martial artists are the ones you don't know by name, by fame. So try to remember that. Some of us out here, we're way better than you guys give us credit for. So let's go with a double side kick. I don't recommend that with your hands tied behind your back. Here's what it looks like. Doom, doom. So it's really, really low level. It's for the knees. It's for Taekwondo. Cack, cack. You know, no. You might not do anything but buckle them open. But if you're going to buckle them open, you want to put that in there. You want to put that front kick in there. So that you guys can see the footwork. Left. Without putting your foot down, of course, I have no grip and I can't find that hole. So, left, right, and then there. Alright? Now a little bit more speed. Okay? So once you get that out of the way, it'll probably look more different from up here. Again, I don't know where that hole is. So, left, right, and then there. I hope you guys can see that shit. I really hope you do. I know that YouTube probably can or can't because that screen's black as fuck. So, we'll leave it at that. But you have to understand, you have to learn what kicks are going to work. If your hands are tied behind your back, you want to keep that shit as super simple as possible. Super simple. Not this. because you're off the ground. And if he sweeps the foot that goes past him, but catches the one that's the base leg for you to land on, you're gonna be in deep shit. So let's say you do a jumping kick, he sidesteps it, and he comes down. Before you come down, he sweeps your leg that's on the ground already, but it's not on the ground because you jumped in the air. You're gonna land on your back. You're gonna break your arms. It's a very bad move. So if you're gonna do any kicks, you want to keep at least 1 foot on the ground because your hands are behind you. You need to have some stability because your hands being behind you are against you. And that means it's going to throw off your balance. And it's going to throw off your balance big time. So if it's going to throw off your balance, it's going to fuck up your day. Understand that shit. It's going to really fuck up your day. So opposed to this, see if I can get in the right position. You don't want to do that. You want to do this. You want to keep it on the ground. Because if he blocks this, you still can get a chance to reset unless he holds your foot. Then you got a problem. And if you are specific and trained enough, the 180 or Jeff Hardy, the 360 or Ernie Reyes Jr. from Surf Ninjas very well could work. Again, the word was could work. The problem is, let me show you one more time, not just America's ass, but your hands are behind your back. See, the thing about having your hands tied is that you are down 2 weapons. Whether you want to admit it or not, you can be a badass motherfucker all you want, but get down 2 weapons. If my hands are tied in front, and my light just died, if my hands are tied in front, and you catch my foot, I can still specifically pull off a Jeff Hardy or Ernie Reyes Jr. I can still pull that off because my hands are in front and I will be able to catch myself if something goes wrong. Where my hands are back here, and I'm not a gymnast. I also had a hip replacement, so I'm not going to do anything freaking stupid. You got to understand, you got to fight smarter, not harder. That being said, I'm going to end this live. I want to thank everyone for being here. If you think you've missed anything, you can go to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I'm also getting cold as fuck, so that's how that's going to work out. Thank you guys for watching. Much love. I hope I taught you something. Okay, so for Kung Fu Havoc number 2, I'm going to see. Yeah, that's gonna do that. I'm gonna do a simple breakdown about your hands. Your hands and feet will probably be the ultimate weapons that you will ever have, always have, and always need. That being said, you're going to need to know when to use them, how to use them, why we use them. Alright? No matter if you're doing animal styles or if you're doing regular styles, your hands are just as important as your feet. If you are better with your feet than you are with your hands, you got to start working on your hand game just in case. Now, the reason why I said that is because blocking is great, but blocking and striking is better. So if you're taking Kempo, this is Wing Chun stance, but if you're taking Kempo and you block and strike, or if you're going to do a Kempo strike where it's a knuckle strike, you're going to need to know where to hit someone. You're going to need to know how to hit someone. So it's more important where versus how. So if they're throwing a straight jab, which would be their left, it's coming to your right. So you can strike short. This is to protect you from Wing Chun style. But if you want to do Wing Chun and Kempo combo, boom. When they're throwing that punch, boom, that strike and this block, boom, they're going to be coexisting. So that's going to eliminate some of the threat. So you want to strike the metacarpals, which is their hand, and then from there, you can grab them, and you can pull, which you just turned from Kempo and Kung Fu to Karate, boom, and then back to Kung Fu. You're going to learn the combinations that's going to work for you, because if you don't, you're going to learn the hard way at what does not work for you, which I don't want to see happen. But things like that happens all the time in fights. Lots of people get into a fight, and they watch the UFC or they watch MMA, but they've never competed. I've never competed. But I've been in a lot of fucking street fights, and I haven't lost them. So you can take your chances while watching it and not fighting, or you can take your chances and listening to me and knowing that I have never lost a real fight in my life. That being said, I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys for watching. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I am Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Be seeing ya.